This thing that I have found is what I would call my gracious space. All right, folks, here we go. Jack Carlisle here with Gracious Spaces, and we are going to go down the path of food today, my favorite thing. And we hadn't even started a conversation yet, but I'm already hungry. Man, I'm already hungry. I had the lucky opportunity to go and eat several times over at Adya restaurant in the Anaheim Packing House, and we are sitting here today with Chef Shachi.
Yeah.
Thank you. A tough one for me. But I'm looking so forward to our conversation because I just know we're going to cover A to Z on how to run a business, your philosophy about a business, and up and down. So let's just kind of start from the beginning. What point did you reach that you knew you wanted to be a chef?
Well, first, thank you, Jack. I'm super excited to be here and chat with you today. So my story is a little non-linear, I would say.
I like it already. That's great.
I decided when I was very young that I wanted to be a doctor. And I followed that path for a very long time.
Now, did you come from a family of doctors?
Nope. My dad was an engineer. My mom was an artist. It's just something I decided when I was young. I wasn't pushed into it from, my Indian family. I decided that's what I wanted to do. And I took a lot of bio in high school, AP bio and chemistry and calculus. Yeah. And I went to college with the same idea of being a pre-med student. So I took a lot of pre-med stuff. My first year of college, we found out my dad had cancer. So I moved home. And during the time of taking care of him, I kept this. It's still going to be medical, but maybe it'll be physical therapy. Maybe I'll be a pharmacist, something. It's still medical.
Yeah.
And after he passed, we moved back to New Jersey and I started working for a doctor. And one day I looked at this doctor. He was with a patient and I looked at him like down a hallway. I remember this moment very clearly. And I realized that I would never be as joyful as he was in that moment if I continued down this path.
That bedside manner.
And in that moment, I don't think I realized that, magnitude of that in that moment, but I did realize like, oh shit, this is what I thought I wanted to do. Now what am I going to do? Like start from nothing? And my sister suggested culinary school because I'd always enjoyed cooking. I used to make everybody's birthday cakes. I loved having people over for parties. I would make dinners. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know anything about it.
There's something very rewarding about feeding people.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Feeding the soul.
Yeah.
I
didn't make that connection till much later in my life that really the whole medical path thing was about. The main purpose of me picking that was because I wanted to help people in some way. I wanted to bring joy to people in some way. And I'm still accomplishing that central goal, but I'm doing it with food now. And I started looking into it. And honestly, I didn't know anyone in the business. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know you could go to school for 4 years. You could spend $100,000. You can go to school for 6 months. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And a pharmaceutical sales guy came into the office waiting for the doctor. And he said, oh, what do you want to do? And I said, oh, I'm looking in a culinary school. And he said, you should talk to my friend. He's a chef.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. So I called his friend and I set up an appointment and I went to go meet him. And he spent 45 minutes with me, which I later came to appreciate as such a big deal. He was executive chef of a restaurant in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. And he said, if you want, you can come and hang out on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
that doesn't happen too often, right?
But I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's a great idea, right? I can get to see how a restaurant works. So I went in that Saturday, and that day I knew.
Wow. It hit you.
This is what I'm supposed to do. I figured this is it.
Yeah.
And halfway through that day during family meal, the chef and the sous chef sat me down and they said, what do you think? And I said, I love it. Yeah. And they said, well, how would you like to work here? And I said, what?
Pretty much an interview that day.
I had no idea.
Wow.
Because I wasn't there for that reason. And I said, what? And they said, well, we can't pay you that much to start, but. And I said, okay.
We need this to be filled, this void.
And I worked the doctor's office and the restaurant for 6 months. So I would go open the doctor's office and then drive to the restaurant, close the restaurant, and then drive home. So I was driving like 100 miles a day. It was exhausting, and all of the things when you look back and you think, I would never do that if I didn't feel really strongly about it.
Yeah, of course.
Then I left the doctor's office and did the restaurant for another 6 months full time, and then left.
What kind of food was that?
It was a brewery with like fine dining American food.
Yeah.
And I was able to put like Indian spices on specials. I made specials while I was there. I did a ton of stuff, but I was also in a space where I was hyper aware of what it's like to be a woman in a kitchen.
That was my next question. How do you feel about that?
It was hard.
And a woman of color as well, not just a female in that world.
I think because I didn't know anything about the business, I didn't know if it was, is this normal?
Yeah.
Is this how it's supposed to be everywhere?
What a huge opportunity you were given, because it could have been thrown you into a situation that was extremely uncomfortable. It was a great experience.
Overall, yes. Yeah. There were definitely moments that were very uncomfortable and highly inappropriate. I'm not going to lie. That did happen.
Yeah.
But when I left there, because I was so aware, like, I got to talk to other women, because if this is what is this what it's supposed to be? Because this can't be right. I left because I was thinking I'm ready for culinary school. And I ended up going to a charity event in New York called Taste of the Nation. And I had bought a ticket, which was very expensive for me at the time.
Yeah.
And I was very, very shy at that time in my life. So going alone was a big step for me. And I went around, and it's one of those events where they have like drinks and each chef does like a bite of something.
Yeah.
And any chef whose story had made an impact on me, like I'd read about them, or the bite that they made an impact on me, or there were several women in that group, I introduced myself to them and took their cards. Huh. And then the following week, I called them all and set up these informational interviews with them in New York, in Manhattan.
All right.
And basically just to be like, where do you think I should go to school?
Huh.
And as expected, I got all the answers. Huh. My alma mater. You don't need to go to school. Here's this other school you can go to.
So,
like all the
answers you
all
mean.
the answers. And one of the chefs I met was Floyd Cardoz from Tabla.
Oh.
And his background and what he was doing with Indian food at that time was remarkable to me. And so I talked to him for a while just about his history and his background. And he said, so what is it that I can do for you? And I said, that's it. I just want to talk to you. And he said, well, I have a position open you can trail for.
Twice in your life.
And I was like, wow. Oh my God, yay. I remember that day crystal clear. I went home on cloud 9. I bought a knife and I went back and did this trail. And I got the job, but I had really bad knife skills. I remember them very clearly. It was awful.
Now, from just lack of being educated on how to use a knife, or just practice?
Just not practicing.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember he asked me to julienne ginger it, and it was so bad. I mean, it's funny because I give a lot of my team a hard time about julienne ginger if it's not a certain way.
Yeah.
But he said, you need to work on your knife skills. But I got that job. And I worked for him for 5 years.
So that didn't stop him from continuing his offer.
No.
And that's an important job, holding a knife in a kitchen.
Well, you can learn it, right? That's something you can teach someone.
Right.
You can't teach someone passion.
Yeah.
Or care or drive.
And you think he saw that in you?
I didn't know at the time, but many years later, I actually asked the first chef and his sous chef, why did you guys hire me?
Yeah.
At that time.
Sure.
And the sous chef told me, he said, I'm sure you've seen this by now because you've been in the business for a while, but sometimes you just meet someone and they have it and you had it.
You had it. Wow.
So that was a very high compliment even then.
That's goosebump material right there. Yeah. That's cool.
So I worked in Manhattan for 5 years. I traveled. I went to India, Japan, and Australia for 8 months. Then came back and worked for him again. And that was like my formative learning years. And I didn't go to culinary school.
Yeah.
I just learned as I worked.
So as you traveled, did you put yourself in specific situations to learn then?
I mean, I went out and ate a lot and talked to people about food a lot.
There you go.
I did. In India, I got to talk to people they're called halwais. They're like caterers, sort of. But like if there's a big event at your home, they'll come to your home and they have these giant pots that they set up and they cook everything there.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to one because one of my cousins was getting married. And at first he was very hesitant to talk to me. He was like, why do you want to know all this stuff? Why are you interested? And I explained I work in a kitchen. I'm trying to be a chef. And it was really hard for him to process that was my job in New York. But it was great.
Well, not only your job, I think it sort of set the tone for your philosophy behind cooking and your own menu, let's say.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
All of the travel that I've done and all of as humans, all of our experiences leave a mark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
A good one or a bad one it stays for a little while or it stays for a long while. Yeah. Everything we do, everything we experience affects who we are and what we put out into the world.
And growth.
And and I was born in India. I grew up in New Jersey. I traveled quite a bit and love traveling and love eating. And every travel I do, I always bring food back.
Yeah.
Some sort of food thing. But I've been very fortunate to be able to be in a space now where I'm able to share me as food.
Yes. I like that. I'm able to share me as food.
Just my experiences and how I see the world. And ultimately my goal, as I've told you before, my goal is really to get more people to experience the magic that is Indian flavors.
Yeah.
I want people to just like really enjoy it because I know when somebody eats a pani puri for the first time and your eyes get big and you're like, I've never had anything like that before because it's a multitude of texture and a multitude of flavor and there's so many things going on and it's not like anything you've had before. Yeah. And because of that, you're like, well, I want to try that again because did I get a hint of spice at the end? Was that sweet in the beginning?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of it. It's the layering of those flavors makes you go back for that second bite.
It reminds me of the scene in Ratatouille.
Yeah, and that's my favorite movie, obviously.
All of those flavors just all of a sudden explode and it just all comes together. So then we jump over here to California. So then what, were you here on vacation and said, hey, I'm sticking around. This is cool.
I actually moved to Palo Alto first from DC. I was in DC for a year. And
may I ask, where did you work in DC?
I did. I worked at the Bombay Club.
Okay.
And that's like across the street from the White House.
Yeah.
And that is actually where I met my now husband.
Okay.
We worked together there.
Okay.
And I was there for a year. And then my chef from New York, Floyd Cardoz, said, I have a place that I'm consulting for in California. And they're looking for an executive sous. And I said, okay. So my brother already lived in San Diego. He was going to UCSD. I said, I'm going to go visit him and I'll go interview.
You know what I love is the way your stages and progression. You're like, oh, okay, I'll go.
Yeah, like, I think I've been very
I love that.
Open to go where
opportunity
takes me. Yeah, that's definitely been true. I never really thought about that, but yeah,
why not go try it out for a bit?
I also think that because I spent so much time working on following the medical field, and it was like a lot of hurdles and a lot of just stops and starts. And I think when you figure out what you're quote unquote supposed to do, the universe feels like it's conspiring in your favor. And it's not like you can just sit back and relax and, the universe is going to show up with, a pot of gold. But I think when you're actively doing that thing, it does feel like the universe is looking out for you and sending you good stuff.
You're putting it out there. It
really feels like it.
Yeah.
I mean, because if I look back on my career, I mean, you could say I was just really lucky a lot.
Yeah.
But I worked really hard to be really lucky a lot.
Yeah.
So I went and interviewed for this position, and the restaurant was not even built yet. Like barely started construction. But I met with the owner and I got the job. And I moved to California, to Palo Alto, with 2 suitcases, which the TSA destroyed. So one was like taped shut. Oh, no. And I had like booked myself this really, I didn't think it was shady online, but it seemed like a very shady hotel that I stayed in for like a week before I found a place.
Yeah.
I found a great place. And I had a roommate that was a teacher. And I basically was part of building that restaurant from scratch.
Cool is that?
Being able to like look at the drawings and say, and then walk into the restaurant and say, this sink is in the wrong place. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. Look at the drawing. I know.
Because I got to use it.
So that was a huge learning experience for me, just being able to build something.
Yeah.
And then I was there for the opening. We did really well. I was able to be creative and sort of start being a customer-facing person and be a little less shy. And then from there, I went to Oakland and I opened another restaurant with somebody called Boca Nova. That was a pan-Asian, Latin American restaurant. So again, another opportunity to be creative, but also working in a space that was, there's this thing that I've noticed about the way chefs are brought up, so to speak. So if you grew up in an environment where the chef screamed a lot and demeaned you, and that's how you think you can get people to do what you want.
Learned behavior.
And I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think it's the way to get people to do what you want. But I also understand that if that's how you were raised and that's what you learned, you have to actively say, I'm not going to do this. And I think that's very hard for a lot of people.
Very hard.
I think it's sort of changing now in some spaces, but the fact that it still exists, 20 some odd years later, the changes are so small, even now. I like to think that in my space and in the people I interact with, I'm not doing that. I'm not perpetuating that. So someone that works with me or for me is learning how to treat people like people.
Correct. Well, that's the beauty of it, Shachi, is that you're in control of that.
Right.
In your own place now. You're the boss.
Right.
And people are going to respond to you clearly much better if you don't scream and yell at them. I don't think there's anything about fear that's going to make people do a better job.
Right. But there is this whole mentality, contingent of kitchens all across this country where that's how they operate.
Very, very old school, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's still...
But that's how things are perpetuated, right? So...
Yeah.
if I work for someone and they have reached a pinnacle that I want to reach, then I will emulate them.
Yeah. I think we do that in life in general.
Of course,
if we see,
absolutely.
just like Leo, I respect what he does 1,000 times. If I wanted to do what he does, I'm going to emulate him, right? I want to say, what does this guy do? I can be that.
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
So, well, do you feel like, I mean, the culinary world has just so exploded in the world, really.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be an opportunity with some of that old school ways of behavior might kind of go away? I mean, it might always be there on the surface. And like you said, it's only changed a very small amount.
It has changed a small amount. And there's definitely something we said about the amount that it's changed. Yeah. But does it have a long way to go? Yeah. Absolutely. I guess there's also this, it's also perpetuated by TV, right? Like, what do people want to see? They want to see drama. They don't want to see, a bunch of happy employees doing stuff. Like, yeah, that's great for you. And it's great for your food when you go out to eat. You don't want to hear people screaming because that ruins your experience. But when you're watching it on TV, you want drama.
Well, it's funny because as you were saying a couple of those last sentences, my mind went to the bear. Yeah. And I never knew much about that world behind the kitchen door until that show. Mm-hmm. And then my daughter works in food service too. And one thing I love is these family dinners. I was like, wow, they do that? They have family dinners?
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. That's because it is a family.
Right.
I know you take pride that in your current location in restaurants. And as I was there, I told you earlier, you can see that in them, their pride and their joy for being there. If you had told me Rudy had been there, 10 years or so?
11 now.
Oh, 11? He acts like he's just a fresh newbie, because he smile on his face, solid guy,
Thanks.
Let's
that means a lot to me.
Well, it should. Thank you, for your philosophy in managing. You put out some amazing food, but the combination of all that, you certainly can see just by being a customer on this side of the counter. And that's what I try to tell my employees here. We're standing here. That customer is across from us. They're seeing us and everything behind us.
Yeah.
And that's just not physically and the real things behind us, but that's how we manage as well. So I'm going to jump into your menu a little bit because in looking at it, I love Indian food. You mentioned DC. I lived in DC for a long time.
Oh, I love DC.
Oh, great melting pot, lots of different flavors, but Indian food is great when they're. But your menu is like very playful.
Yeah.
You've got a burrito. You're going to this Indian restaurant and there's a burrito on the menu.
Yep.
Mentioned
we're in California,
right? You're bridging those two cultures.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned the Latin American restaurant you worked at. Did that come into play with some of your inspiration?
I mean, it definitely helped me learn about more Latin American food and flavors. Yeah. And then I traveled a bunch. Again, all my travels, there's always I'm in charge of the food element, obviously, because that's what I'm obsessed with.
I want to travel with you, by the way. We would have fun. Food and traveling, two of my favorite things.
Yes. Yeah. From there, I ended up moving to Oakland, and I loved Oakland. But that's when the idea of opening my own place started to take form. And I started a little chutney business where I was selling chutneys at this underground market once a month. And I was doing a lot of searching for a space. And I ended up getting a job in Newport, which is why I moved to Southern California for the opening of Tamarind of London, which is a Michelin-starred Indian restaurant in London. And it was their first U.S. outpost. And again, it was under construction. And I got to be here from the ground up. And I got to create the menu. I was the opening exec chef for that place and create the menu based on all of my experiences. Yeah. Like everything I know about California, everything I know about Indian food. How do I incorporate the London vibe?
Yeah.
So I spent 2 months in London with their team trying to, see how they do things.
So sorry you had to experience that. My gosh, what an opportunity.
And I was able to bring all that back and create something completely new and different. So that was great for me. And it gave me a lot of exposure in Orange County. And that's what allowed me to open Adya. So after doing all this fine dining, everything I did in basically my whole career up at that point had been fine dining. And the reason to do fast casual inside a food hall was because I would have access to so many more people.
Yeah.
Was that because I'm in a space where people are coming in and they don't know what they want today, but here's an opportunity to try something I've never tried before.
Yeah.
Or for people that are Indian that are on vacation, they're always looking for Indian food.
Yeah.
So there are things on the menu that are very traditional and have memory attached to them, and they are a certain way. And then there's the playful stuff. There's 4 different kinds of burritos. We just put these sandwiches on the menu. There's a fried chicken sandwich that is, the coating is made with a snack that's called bhujia. That is like, it's addicting. Yeah. It's from where my family is from. It's from Rajasthan. It's where I was born. And it's something that you eat on toast, you eat with yogurt, you eat it out of a bowl. It's spicy and crunchy and so good. Yeah. And my brother actually was like, we should do this with fried chicken. And it took me a while to like get the breading right. But I love that sandwich.
Well, I will admit, in your chicken, a friend of mine was asking me what I liked about it and everything. I said, "Oh, the chicken was burnt. It was so good." And he's like, no, you don't want to say burnt, do you? Just say it's charred.
Oh, no.
Much easier, And I'm like, well, I grew up with my grandma burning the chicken. I loved it. But so I guess your charred chicken to me is really on point. I love it.
So that's probably did you have one of the kebabs?
Yes. Yeah. But it's just right. Just right there at being charred. But so looking at your entire menu, it's very quirky. It's comfortable. I think if you've never eaten Indian food, you definitely want to, it's got a kind of an introductory level to it and get you comfortable into the rest of the menu.
So there's definitely one of the things that I learned very early. We didn't have chicken tikka masala on the menu when we opened because I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to educate people. I'm going to have a different chicken curry every day or every week or whatever. Yeah. And within 2 weeks, I realized, because I was there all day, every day.
What they were asking for, huh?
People are coming in, they're looking at the menu, they're saying they don't have it, and they're leaving.
Oh, wow. That's what they wanted.
So, and that's sort of this thing where there's chef brain and there's owner brain.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not in sync.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I have to do it. But I'm going to do the best version of it that I know how to make. Yeah. And what I have found is there's people that'll come in 50 times and get chicken tikka masala because they love it. That's their thing. Yeah. That's what they're going to get. And then maybe the 51st time, they're like, you know what? I'm going to try something different today because now they trust me. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that for sure. Lot of people come in and they're like, well, I really usually love chicken tikka masala, but I'm looking at this other thing on your menu. Yeah. And what I always say to them, because I believe this to be true, is this other thing you're looking at is really delicious. Yeah. But if you are craving chicken tikka masala, then no matter how good that other thing is, you're going to be like, man, I wish I got chicken tikka masala.
Yeah. So go with your gut.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you a few props here because the opportunity came your way and you were on season 43.
Yes.
Episode 7 on Chopped. And not only were you on there, you walked away with the win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my first thought, and I watched the episode, and so of course there's this basket and surprises and all that kind of stuff. And I definitely want to get into that, especially the one that moved. because I thought that was pretty funny. But, looking at these three judges, and clearly they all have their own opinion and style and way of cooking, but was there any particular judge you were a little bit more nervous about than?
Well, I think definitely they had Manit Chauhan, who's Indian, there.
That's kind of where I'm going.
For a reason, right?
Yeah.
So she will, have an understanding of what I'm using as my sort of inspiration for each dish, because every dish I made was Indian inspired. But does that mean that she will understand it more and that's a good thing? Or does that mean that she understands where I'm coming from and is going to judge it harder? Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know where that's going to go.
Well, and to set it up for everyone, the episode is called Ooey Gooey.
Yeah.
So
Ooey Gooey cheese.
Yeah. So cheese was your main ingredient. And then they came up with some other alternative ingredients that were like, what the heck?
Yep.
I mean, how did you evaluate that when you opened the basket and you were like, okay, let's go?
Well, I will give credit where it's due. Before I went on, my husband decided that it would be a good idea for me to practice.
Yeah.
So I came home from work one day and he had a bunch of stuff on the counter and a towel over it. And I just got home from work. It's like 9 something. Like, I'm tired.
I'm so tired right now.
And he's like, okay, so we're going to do this now. And your time starts now. And I'm like, I am not interested in doing this right now. He's like, 2 minutes. You already lost 2 minutes.
He didn't stop, huh?
So
I love the guy.
Yeah. In the moment I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. But I did.
Yeah.
And that really helped me.
Yeah.
So we did that twice. And that really helped me get a sense of time.
Pressure.
Because 20 minutes is very short. When you're trying to make something. It also helped me sort of remember to just pick your thing and do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't change it 7 times in 20 minutes.
Yeah. You don't have time for that.
No.
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, I told Lewis, I said, don't be surprised, Lewis, if one day when you come home, Shachi's going to be here and I'm going to have 2 sets of ingredients and you're going to have to go. And he's like, no, you would never do that to me. I'm like, I think that'd be fun to watch you.
Yeah.
So I might be hitting you up for some dinner night.
No problem.
I think that'd be hilarious. But yeah, so she, I think, would provided a whole different level of, I'm going to say, anxiety to me, knowing that she is her cultural background. She understands the food.
But I think also the flip side of that for me was that she understands it, so it's less foreign to her.
Yeah. True.
So it could go either way. It could go either way,
yeah. Yeah. So this basket that you got, I think it was the entree, that was moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? I mean, you got
So one of the first questions people ask about Chopped is, do you know what's in the basket before? And no, we don't.
Okay.
We get in, we open them up, they film our shocked faces. Yeah. We take everything out and then we put everything back in and then we go.
Okay. So you're given a little bit of time to think.
You have like 30 seconds.
Okay. Short.
In between.
Yeah.
And so we had a live lobster in between, in entrees. And I feel like we had fried grilled cheese for entree.
Okay. There was some tough ingredients.
Squash. We had roasted spaghetti squash. And it's interesting because in between takes, like, you're hustled into this little room. You can't like look into the kitchen if you have to go to the restroom. Like, someone has to sort of walk you through, and you talk amongst each other when you're in the little room.
Was there a level of respect between each other or competitiveness? Or?
It's actually super funny because when you meet everyone for the first time, because you don't know who you're competing against.
Yeah.
I had figured out that my episode was about cheese.
Okay.
Because during my interview, they had asked like some like they were really leaning on cheese a lot, I felt.
Mm.
And then I think they went and filmed something at the grilled cheese spot. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure my episode's going to be about cheese. But so we meet at McDonald's in Harlem. So it's you and 4 other people because one person's an alternate. And you basically show up and kind of size each other up, right?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about each other. In McDonald's in Harlem. And then one person from the studio walks you to the studio. And you sort of all, say, I'm this person, I'm from here. And everyone walks a little taller than normal and is a little extra swagger in your step. And then you go in and they take your ID and your phone and all you have is your knives and your jacket. And that's it.
Yeah.
And if you brought a snack, you can take it with you. And then you start and you just, it's interesting because 2 of the competitors on my episode knew each other from before. And then there was the guy from New York who was like the guy from New York.
Yes, typical.
Yeah.
Who was the first to go, by the way?
He was the first to go, yeah. But he was the guy that was like,
I'm here.
Yeah.
Got this.
But overall, it was great. It was really an opportunity for me. It ended up being an opportunity for me to show myself what I could do.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they announced the winner, what ran through your head? Did you go into it sort of thinking, pretty good chance? Yeah.
It's like they really want you to be like, I got this. I am so sure that I'm going to win. And I wasn't. Yeah. I knew that I had put out good stuff.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had stayed true to what I wanted to do.
Well, I have to say the first guy, he was pretty much let off because he left out an ingredient.
Yeah.
But in the second go around, I think, wasn't there something about yours that there was something, and I was like, oh boy, if they let him go for that, they're certainly going to let her go for that.
There's something in the second.
But you passed through that pretty smoothly. I can't remember what it was. Forgive me.
I did change what I was doing for the entree.
Okay, maybe it was that it didn't quite stick with what the chefs were looking for, the judges or something.
I had said that I was making curry and rice, and then I didn't make rice.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
That was probably it.
Or maybe it was... There was something. You're right. There was something that they nitpicked me on.
Right through, though.
Yeah.
Because then you're getting down fewer people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
It's still out there for people to see. Episode 43 and or season 43, episode 7.
Season 43, Ooey Gooey Cheese.
Yeah. So pretty phenomenal. I like that you had that title. So how I came across getting to know you, the Orange Homegrown Farmers Market is pretty dear to my heart here in town, in Old Town Orange. I've been a part of that on the vendor side and on the board and several things like that. And so that's how I got to know you. And I really respect your give back to the community as well. They do a dinner, a fundraiser each year. It's gotten up to like 250 people, and it's like a farm to table, amazing extravaganza, if you will. Yeah. And thank you for participating in that. And that's something you enjoy as well.
I do.
Yeah.
I do like to give back to our community, to my community whenever I can. Whatever, if there's something I can do.
Yeah.
I think it's important for us as a business, for a business perspective, to have relationships in your community, to get to know people. The other thing is, I am a people person and I love interacting with people. And if there's some way I can help someone or some organization or a fundraiser or an event, Okapica has an event every year that we do, and it's their big fundraiser. We've done a lot of things with Max Love because it's something that I believe in. So it's where the opportunity exists for me to make some impact through what I do. I think that's amazing. That's awesome. to be able to make an impact by doing what we already do is awesome.
Well, your give back for the Orange Homegrown Foundation is amazing. So thank you. You certainly have achieved that with that group, and they love you to death. They really do. So in a little bit of essence of time, because gosh, I've enjoyed this so much and there's so much more to cover, but I do want to touch base on your Spice Girls. Like you don't have anything else to do in your life, my goodness. So tell us a little bit about your Spice Girls venture.
So Shachi's Spice Girl Sauces was born out of the chopped win, honestly. They asked me what I was going to do with my winnings, and I said I was going to start a sauce line and write a book. And the thing that propelled it into action was, for me, now I've said this on national TV, I have to go do it.
Yes.
And I always knew I didn't want it to be something that I was just bottling in the restaurant and selling in the restaurant. I wanted it to be a national thing.
Yeah.
So we started with a co-packer locally, and we have the hot sauce and the tomato chutney, and we're currently in the middle of a rebrand, and it's amazing.
Oh, nice.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. I love it. I can't wait for everyone to see it. And we're going to have 2 more flavors.
Nice.
And it's really about, so Spice Girl Sauces is, again, just pushing that same philosophy of getting people to enjoy Indian flavors on their everyday, like in their everyday life. Like the hot sauce is not just for Indian food. It's great on eggs. It's great on avocado toast. I just made a mango chili popsicle with it. The tomato chutney is an amazing pizza base. It's really, really good. But it's also, you can use it in a stir fry. You can use it on the day you make Indian food, but you don't have to.
Not necessary.
And that's really the idea of it, is I want these to be sauces and condiments that you reach for every day.
Just next to the mayo.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The hot sauce mixed with mayo is awesome on a BLT.
There. All right.
So good.
Well, I tell you, put me in touch with whoever I need to. I want to carry it here in our culinary room at the shop.
You're talking to the right person.
I knew somebody. I didn't want to just assume I had it in, but yeah, I'd love to offer that here at the shop.
Thanks.
For you guys. What a pleasure it's been. Run down your socials for us just real quick, and how someone can get more information about you and what you do.
Of course, my social is at Chef Shachi, my full name. My restaurant is at Adya OC, and Spice Girls is at spicegirlsauces.com.
Love it. I, folks, cannot tell you enough how much I highly recommend, if you live in the Orange County area, LA, San Diego, Ventura, come on down to Orange County and definitely visit the Packing House and go visit Shachi at her restaurant. If you're visiting, same thing, zero in. We're right next, or she's right next to Disneyland. Very easy to get to, and the environment's great. So definitely do that. But,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, this is great. Right. Thank you.
And I know where I'm going to be for lunch today.
Super.
Take care, folks.